The idea of a youth entrepreneurship ecosystem is a really nebulous thing. And coming into this work, actually from the corporate side 12 years ago, I didn't have any example, and there were very few examples of what it looks like when youth are engaged in an ecosystem and what that means. And discovering from the Mott Foundation's attention that we were doing it better than anybody else in Cleveland. 6 years after I got involved in the work, I had some firsthand experience of what the best example looked like, but I still couldn't quantify it. And all of us were in the field were struggling to quantify it and talk about, like, what does it really look like? We know it means youth have more opportunities. They have more relationships with adults that can help scaffold their experiences. It means that there's a supportive community around the youth. It means that they're partners playing together to make a successful future for the community's youth. But when I was speaking to the board about the experience, and Ridgway said something about the ecosystem building and making some broad comparisons about Flint versus Cleveland, and this was probably 4 years ago. And I said, we always say it takes a lot of time. Cleveland was, at that point, we had been concertedly building youth ecosystem connections in Cleveland for 10 years at that point, and it had not been that long yet in Genesee County. And I said, it takes time. Just like we're so grateful for this investment, but it takes time. Like, you may not be seeing returns in abundance, but it's coming. And it was only 2 years later, 1 year later, that I was in the room at the Flint Summit, and we had people coming in from out of state to support the work, and didn't know what they didn't know what the change was that they were seeing, but there were kids in the room that were talking about having been there before. They were talking to kids from different districts, private school, public school, talking to each other. There were over 100 adults in the room who were there to support them. The adults were making connections. There was so much magic happening in that room. It was amazing. And I realized they're really, Kim Damel in particular is absolutely incredible at ecosystem building. But the work that she brought together, just the way she has implemented that program, is an example of how you can magnify impact. And the way people have come together, and now just recently being at the 3rd annual summit, to see the buzz in the room and the energy, and the guy that gets up on stage and says, I want to start a barbershop. And I'm looking at the room, I'm like, these people, these are gonna be your customers. You're gonna do it, and this is your life path. You're like building the future right here in this room, and you're in high school, and everybody is cheering for him, and it's like, yes, I am gonna come to your barbershop. And from the these concrete local dreams to the someone who's got something that's, I'm gonna invent something in biotech, and it's the whole gamut, but everybody is there supporting it together. And that is the dream realized of ecosystem building, and it's happening there. And I think it was such a amazing way to wrap we've been talking about the 10 years and the 10 years of impact, and to see this is what it looks like. And it was very exciting to be part of.